Hi, I'm Jacob Hornberger, Libertarian candidate for president. U.S. Senator Rick Scott, a Republican from Florida, who also serves as chairman of a group called the National Republican Senatorial Committee, has come up with an 11-point agenda for America. And one of the points of this agenda is to finish the wall along the U.S.-Mexico border that Donald Trump began when he was president. Well, this is a proposal, of course, that all the Republican presidential candidates would wholeheartedly embrace. They love that wall. But it's also one that the Democrats would embrace. President Biden has sent thousands of troops down to the border to enforce the wall and the socialist immigration control system that comes with it. And his primary opponent, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., says that if he's elected president, he intends to turn America into a fortress with impenetrable borders. He's not going to let one illegal immigrant through. And we all know what that means. Ever increasing, more fortified walls and troops to enforce it. So what's interesting about the Scott proposal, though, is he has another dimension to it. He says we ought to name this wall after Donald Trump. So I've got a suggestion. How about naming it the Donald Trump Memorial Berlin Wall? And then what we could do is inscribe the names of all the immigrants who have died, the thousands of immigrants that have died, on the wall, sort of like the Vietnam Memorial, so that relatives could come and visit the wall. I'm sure it's going to be a tremendous tourist attraction, and they could see the names of their loved ones there on the wall. And it could be done on both sides, so that the people from Latin America could see the names of their loved ones from their side of the border, given that they would not be permitted to come over and see the names on the American side. And now I know there's a lot of immigrants who have died as a result of America's system of immigration controls that Democrats and Republicans have foisted upon our land, whose identities we don't know. They find people on the desert in New Mexico and Arizona periodically, just bones. They don't know who they are. But we could have a certain section on the wall, sort of like the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, that just dedicated to the unidentified immigrants that have died as a result of this system. In fact, I think it would be a nice touch to add the names of all the people who have died in Europe, the migrants who have died in Europe. For example, those 700 or 800 people that died in that capsized boat there as a result of Europe's immigration control system. Now, I know Democrats and Republicans would say, Jacob, no, they don't count. They didn't die as a result of our immigration control system. They died as a result of the European one. But nonetheless, we could put an asterisk there and point that out. I just think it would be a nice touch. But I've got an even better suggestion. Why don't we just demolish this wall? It's an absolute disgrace. Berlin walls don't belong in the United States. They never have, and they never will. We need to just ditch it entirely, just like the German people ditched their Berlin Wall. The only thing that's going to work in this country is open borders, free markets. I've been saying that for decades. Their socialist system of immigration controls will do nothing but bring death, suffering, Berlin walls, and a police state to the borderlands. The only thing that works is freedom and free markets. That's our heritage. Open immigration. We had open immigration for more than 100 years, and we didn't have Berlin walls and deaths and suffering and an immigration police state. We need to revive that heritage, that legacy of freedom and free markets. That's one of the principal ways we get this government, this nation, back on the right track toward liberty, peace, prosperity, and harmony with the people of the world. I'm Jacob Hornberger, Libertarian candidate for president. My campaign website is jacobforliberty.com.